Hi guys, Papa Sam here, and today we're going to be talking about what it's like to play Rascal. And I guess the first thing I could say before this is playing, Rascal is just one of those classes that it makes a really big difference against who you're playing against, or just in general, who you're playing with. If you're playing against someone super experienced, you're not going to have a good time. If you're playing against someone who just joined the game, you're never going to lose. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, we got to get into the fact that, Rascal has a turret, right? And, that turret has 150 health. It can go up to 200. But let's also remember the fact that that turret is really vulnerable and doesn't take, it takes all the damage of any weapon. There's no fall off from any range. So, like, if you're a Rascal, anyone can shoot it down, basically. Even a Sir Knight could take it down within 12 seconds, but still, that's ridiculous. So, what does that mean? It means you have to hide your turret, and it's really simple. Just hide your turret or make sure it's in a spot that's really hard to attack without getting attacked. But it usually tends to be in this predicament. If you're up against a really experienced player, they're gonna know where the turret is. They're just gonna take it down real quickly. And even if it's level 2, which is surprisingly harder to take down, they're still probably gonna mow it down in seconds. And if they're a cyborg or a Sheila, don't even try, man. Just move your turret. It's best that you just move it. And when you're playing against the newest player, they're probably not even going to notice it. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've had a game where I've just sat there and just literally watched the game from a roof or something while I get 30 kills in the game. And then I just get MVP because of that. Like, really. But when just turret placement in this game is really important, I guess, when it gets down to it. And I could show you all the cool turret spots I use. Yeah, and that BW uses, and Papa Sam can give you the inside. But I'm just gonna tell you about what it feels like, to just place a turret. So imagine this: you're just going around, you're just going play Rascal, right? You see a cyber, like, oh, this is a perfect chance to place a turret, but then someone just comes up behind you and destroys it. The thing about turret is that you love your turret. Like, your turret's like a child. You're sure it's gonna make Daddy proud someday and get maybe 3 kills, maybe a couple assists. But then someone just destroys it. So what do? A, go on a rampage because they destroyed your child, or two, calmly resort to just running back, getting some scrap, and then building another turret and upgrading it to level 2. So the next time they attack it, they'll have even more of a problem. Most of you will go with, surprisingly, B, but a lot of people still do resort to A. I mean, come on. Who's not going to be upset when you had a turret that was doing really well, but then a pro player like, I don't know, Sassy or maybe Dice just came on the server and then just ruined that for you? That's really what it feels like to play Rascal at this point. You have to worry about your turret 24/7 because I'm gonna be honest, Rascal does do a lot of damage. He does 72 damage per shotgun shot, and that's not bad, but still you have to aim it. So really, you rely on your turret more than it relies on you. If that thing's done, you're done, and you have 15 seconds before you can place another turret. So I wouldn't be done with it. Okay, so I don't think I have to say this, but shotgun is really freaking OP. I mean, like I said before, it does 72 damage. That's just a lot of damage. You can two shot almost. I think you can two shot a Reaper with that. You can almost two shot him. I mean, it's basically a two shot if they lost any health before that. That's so much damage, and it does knockback. Like, think about that. The shotgun is so freaking powerful, and Rascal having it in his arsenal is just another great thing. Um, you can take out cyborgs who are overconfident too. I mean, in this footage here, you saw the cyborg got overconfident there. He backed up because he saw how powerful the shotgun was. Granted, it didn't do that much damage to him. He recognizes that it's a shotgun. It's gonna do damage, and plus, it knocks back enemies. And oh my gosh, let me just go without saying, for those of you who are so annoyed by bee hoppers, not that there's that many anyway. Um, if you just shotgun them, they're gonna get knocked back so freaking far. It's not even funny. The shotgun's knockback is ridiculous. I can't tell you how many times I've knocked someone off a cliff, or I've just made a knight go freaking in the stratosphere just because I've shot them. And yet again, we gotta remember, shotgun's really overpowered, but what's the downside? Oh yeah, it's very hard to aim. And I don't say this lightly. Like, you could practice all you wanted to in a lot of games, but take it from someone who spent 72 hours on Rascal, and like 50 of those hours just trying to aim a shotgun. It's not easy. It is so hard, but hey, it really does pay off. And it saves you behind a lot. Like you can take out a cyborg if you four shot him. You can four shot a cyborg, which is so powerful, and you're not gonna miss a lot of those shots unless the cyborg's not firing. If the cyborg's firing, you know, chances are you're probably gonna kill him if you maneuver around him enough. And I have to also say that shotgun didn't used to be a thing. Yeah, it used to shoot out. I'm pretty sure the Rascal shotgun actually used to shoot out pellets. So it was recently added. But otherwise, yeah, shotgun gets you out of a lot of serious situations. If you learn how to aim it, it's so overpowered. There's nothing else to say. It's a shotgun. About the scrap cannon, this thing freaking sucks. Okay, all jokes aside, the scrap cannon's actually not that bad. It's just so hard to aim. It's harder than it should be to aim, considering it comes out the side of the screen. I'm pretty sure it's not even supposed to come out that side. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to come out the middle. But okay, if in all honesty, it's actually not bad. It's actually pretty useful. You can use it to get some kills that normally would be out of your range, and if you're on attack or even defense, you can use it to harass enemies from a range and make them get them off your teammates. The best way to use it would honestly be to just harass enemies. But other than that, the scrap cannon's just really hard to aim for no reason. And the healing of 18 per health for turrets, that's not bad. It's not bad, but it isn't exactly the best either, because that's so little health when your turret's getting destroyed. I get it's not supposed to be like a turret that's unkillable as long as the Rascal's there, but still, I feel like it really should heal a little bit more. Maybe 20, maybe 24. Back to topic. It's just it's pretty reliable. I know it's basically like the Rescue Ranger, and I guess you could say it's a better version, but all in all, this thing is not that hard to use. If I don't want to see anybody like just not being able to use it. Like it has basically 12 ammo. You can basically just fire this thing and you'll hit something. Like if I had to sum this thing up in a couple words, it would be, as long as my crosshair is on the target, it'll basically hit them. Which it's true, but it's also kind of bad. Now I will say it's actually really good for dealing with Sheilas, and I'm being serious about this. If you can track the Sheila well enough, like I said, just put your crosshair on them and you can do it. For example, in this clip, you see I'm about to run into a Sheila very soon. Sadly enough, she decided to pick on me, so I used Scrap Cannon, and like I said, if you can flick Scrap Cannon, or at least generally get the crosshair on them, you can get a Sheila from attacking you to running away from you. Yeah, that 45 damage, it adds up at some point. It always does. And I guess I do have to give the Scrap Gun credit, because it is one of the best DPSs in the game, since it can do 600 damage to shields, to turrets. If you ever needed to do that much damage to a turret, which you never would need to. Like I said, it can pick off stuff from a range. You don't even have to be attack Rascal. You can just go Rascal to help your team attack from afar, so they can get rid of shields, turrets, stuff like that. And it really does help a team out a lot, which I suggest doing if you aren't already doing that. But otherwise, the scrap cannon, it's, if I ever had to rank it, I'd put it in a B tier, just because in some cases there's nothing you can do to protect yourself if the enemy team is experienced against you. Like, I'll say this, Rascal's gun in general is actually decent. It's really good for him. The problem is you need aim, and not a lot of people have aim, so big problem. Okay, so launchpads are actually really, really good. Like, really, really good. Like, you don't understand. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten to a super OP turret spot that even pro players have trouble dealing with just because of a launchpad. They're really good to help the team out. They actually, they're just really good all around. Like, they help cyborgs get to locations faster. You can for example, on the one map, Tokyo, last point, you can use it to get up to the high point on Tokyo for your teammates, so they don't have to run back and forth, which is super useful. Like, honestly, here's a clip of me doing it. Just here's a clip of me going on top of the tree on Blight Peak. And as you can see right here, it didn't work out too well because the whole team decided to take the launch pad. I didn't think about the outcome of the whole team taking the launch pad, but it worked for a few seconds until the whole enemy team noticed we were inside of a tree and we were basically stranded there. But the point is, Rascal's launchpad is just so freaking good. I dare I say, if you didn't have a launchpad, the turret wouldn't be nearly as good as it is now. Because sometimes you just need that height advantage. Height advantage is so good in this game, like really it is. Now, unless you're playing against a certain knight, I would not suggest doing the height advantage. But otherwise, since you don't take fall damage, it's pretty overpowered. Pretty overpowered, yeah. Um, Launchpad can also get you in some pretty cool places. I know there's a glitch. Um, I don't know what it's called, but I don't even think there's a name for it yet. But there's a glitch where if you put a launch pad up against a wall, and it's a skinny enough wall, and like you hit the wall and you bounce off of it, and you press one of the A or D keys, you basically start B hopping, but the leap B hopping part, not the B hopping part. And it's okay, but it doesn't actually. It's not very useful. I'm gonna be honest. Stair hopping is more useful than that, but still, there are just so many cool things you can do in Launchpad. It opens up a variety of different ways to mess with the enemy team. It's just so useful. And on top of that, it can also help your team get to places where they can also mess with the enemy team. The Launchpad is just so freaking good, and I see a lot of people being like, "Oh, you're placing a Launchpad? Oh, well, I guess that's good." I mean, shoot, if Golly like added a speed pad, that'd be even better. That'd be even better because then you wouldn't have to let the enemy know where you're going. The problem with Launchpad is that the enemy team knows exactly where you're going because you're in the air. I mean, who wouldn't see a Sir Knight leaping even higher in the air than it normally would? Like, really, who wouldn't? But otherwise, launch pads are just really freaking good. So don't diss them. They're great. Now, Chrome Dome is very interesting because of the fact that, well, it can be used in two different ways. Or technically three, but we'll get to the third one in a second here. The first way is to place it down because you're a little piece of campy piece of crap who can't survive when they're lower than 40 health or be smart enough to run away. The second case is when your team actually needs it and you're protecting them and absorbing 777 damage. And in some cases, the ult is, it protects you from a certain something that everyone hates from a certain clasher. But, other than that, mostly you're going to see people or just in general place it down whenever, you're in a tight situation. There's nothing wrong with placing it whenever you're at 40 health. It is a smart move, it does heal you. But I just got to mention that there's some kind of mystic thing that, mystic like force that keeps people out of your bubble. I don't know. It's like they're afraid of getting damaged by multiple people inside the bubble. To be honest, there's an easy way to counter it, which I don't see a lot of Sheilas doing, even though they're pro Sheilas. And it's basically just throwing your ult inside there. I get you're not going to always have it ready, but I've seen Sheilas use the ult right after it, and not while they're in it. The thing is, if you use it inside of there, everyone gets damaged, and there's no way of them escaping. The best combo I could think of with using this, and I have done it before, is use a Sheila to ult the bubble, and then once everyone tries to leave, use a cyborg to just ult it. Just get the cyborg to ult it. Because then if they leave the bubble, they're also going to get damaged. It's big brain plays, guys. Come on, big brain plays. But yeah. Otherwise, Chrome Dome's really powerful. You can use it in so many situations. Like for example, I was in a comp match one time, not the recorded one right here, but in a different comp match, and basically we were about to lose. We were on Blight Peak. We were at the last checkpoint. I just placed it on top of the cart, which you can no longer do, sadly. But you used to be able to, and it was really helpful back then because you could travel with the cart and you get protection. But other than that, Chrome Dome is probably one of the good ults. It's actually really decent. It's really good. Oh, bonus footage here of a pro sniper trying to kill me. Pro sniper, guys. Pro sniper, please. This is probably Sneaky's cousin, guys. Pro sniper right here, guys. Playing Rascal will get you in a lot of situations where you tend to have to run away fast as you can. But otherwise, defending the point as Rascal is generally okay. I mean, you get focused by a lot of clashers. I don't know why, but people just tend to, get attracted to a fat man with a shotgun. I think that's just me though. But yeah, it's really really fun. Otherwise, just because you get to place turrets, and even if your turrets don't stay up for a long time, you can still harass the enemy with scrap cannon. And if there's ever an enemy cyborg on the enemy team, Just scrap cannon them to death. Or scrap shotgun them. It generate your preference at that point. But playing Rascal on defense and protecting the point, it's it's fun. Yeah, it's really fun. Really fun. But you'll tend to end up in a lot of situations where you're basically 1v1ing the entire team. And I don't know how, but that tends to be me like 90% of the time. I can't tell you how many times I've just instantly had to 1v1 the entire team just because of the fact that my other teammates died. I don't know how, but players who were actually attack clashers died. I don't know how. And this footage, this footage right here, that we just started going friendly, kind of. Yeah. Moving on. So whenever you're playing Rascal and you're going up against other clashers, how it turns out, it really just depends on your skill level at that point. If you're going into Cyborg, you're most likely either going to die because of rocket spam and, tracking, or you're going to win. It's a win or lose situation for most clashers. For example, now there's few cases that this doesn't happen are usually Deckers and Zads. I say Decker because it's 50-50. If he's far away, he's most definitely going to win against you. If he's close, he's probably not. You're probably going to win that fight. But all other clashers is pretty even, except for Sheila. You're most definitely going to die to a Sheila. They're just too fast. No one likes tracking them. So yeah, but I mean, there's some I could say there are some funny things that happen whenever you're playing against others and trying to defend against them. And while defending against other clashers can be hard at sometimes, it's always nice when there's a medic to help you out. Like, if I had to describe how it felt whenever a medic heals me as Rascal, I'd say it feels like this. You are my friend. All jokes aside, for now, with Rascal, if as long as you have a medic, you can basically do a lot of things, just like with any other clasher. Moving on, playing against other clashers, just in general, like Decker, uh, gosh, Decker. How do I feel about Decker? Nothing personal, kid. All in all, Rascal is really interesting to play. It can be very fun at some times. Like, for example, you can get a giant killing spree if, well, you could have back when the ult for Zad was still a thing. The good ult, not the bad one. But, you can go on a huge killing spree. Um, but, you know what? If I had to sum all this gameplay, all these facts, all this, all of this into one sentence for Rascal, it would be, oh, Rascal's so OP, let's freaking go. Oh, they took out my turret. But other than that, guys, that's it. I really hope you enjoyed. I worked harder on this video than all my other videos, obviously. If you enjoyed, please consider liking or subscribing. It's free. You can unsubscribe or even unlike whenever you want. If comment who you want next. I know this video was a bit lengthy, but that was just because there was a lot to talk about, being the shotguns, scrap cannon, all that kind of stuff, and just making the little skits. Big thanks to Green, Dice, Korsaka, and Tim for helping me with the skits. And until then, guys, just keep clashing.